First of all, okay, I have to ask, and when I got introduced to the fact that you were here, how the hell does a Happy Monday end up in Burlington, Ontario?
Burlington.
Or I used to live there.
I believe so. Yeah. Did it? Yeah. Do you know what? I was going to. I had a house in the beaches that were nearly bought, and I had the kids in school. We travelled out to friends in Hamilton, and on the way to Hammer, we stopped off at a park, and it just seemed nice and quiet and boring. And I've got two boys, and we just said, oh, let's, instead of moving from one city to another big city, let's try living in the country. Yeah. So we're there for. I don't know how long we're going to stay there. We're nearly 3 years now.
Let me. How did you get from England to Canada?
I moved to Australia first, and when I was travelling back, we were still doing Monday shows, and I was travelling back, doing festivals like every 2 weeks. So it got too much to Australia. I had a label over there, and so we wanted to find somewhere closer. So it was either here or New York. And then we started thinking. Well, I said, well, I've been here on tour, and I quite like Toronto, and it's so we. My wife said, because all English people think Canada's cold all year round. Right. So my wife's half Ghanaian. She's from Manchester, but she's half Ghanaian. So she's like, oh, it's cold, I don't like the cold. And I went out one night, come in, she'd watch one of these TV shows where, they go around to buy people houses, when people are moving countries. And they'd been in Toronto. She said, oh, Toronto looks really nice. There's loads of bohemian coffee shops, let's go there. Next day, she'd filed immigration.
Really?
Yeah.
Based on a TV show?
TV show. And then we came out and we stayed. And we've got a couple of friends here. Got Coatsy, one of my friends from Manchester, who's works for Snow Patrol. Yeah. He's like there, and he's an old friend. He's Liam Gallagher's best buddy. Him and they're old buddies. So he moved over here, and he's been here for he lives up in on College. So I met him, and he's kept me in. I don't know. It's bizarre. I don't know how long we're going to stay. We like it. I like it though. It's okay.
All right. You're living out in the suburbs right now. You're not too far away from me, actually.
Well, you're in Oakville.
Yeah.
All right, you go. I liked Oakville, but then my wife said, "Oh no, I like Burlington." But yeah, I like
posh, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, posh is nice, isn't it? No, I don't mind. I don't know where I'm going to end up. I don't know, but we're okay for the moment. Kids are in school, happy. And
so let's get with HippyMafia. What's the story here? Again, I was just completely sort of blown away by the fact. I grew up with all the Monday stuff.
Oh, nice one. Right.
And somebody says, Gaz is living nearby, and he's got this new band called HippyMafia. I go, what? Really?
Yeah.
So let's figure out what happened. How did you get together with you? How did you guys get together with him?
We met in a sauna.
In a sauna. Japanese sauna.
A gentleman's sauna we met in.
Yeah. Fully naked, happy endings.
Well, you two walked in, I covered up, No, it was. Me and Bez have been trying to leave the Mondays for years, and it was we did a last album. Right. And I was in Australia, came back, and I wrote all the music, Sean did the lyrics, got the album out, and then we ready to do a new album. So I'd written 6 songs with an engineer, and then Sean came in, did vocals on 4. Then went off to LA to do some more, and decided he wanted to do a solo album. So we said, oh, okay. And we was doing HippyMafia. It was called Buffalo 66 then. We'd just done one show, called Manchester versus Cancer, which is like a big arena thing in Manchester once a year. It's like 20,000 people, and all bands from Manchester get dragged in to do it. And we'd done it, and we got Bonehead from Oasis to play. We just did 3 songs, just did it because Andy Rourke from Smiths puts it on. He's an old brother-in-law. It's very.
Your brother-in-law?
He was my ex-brother-in-law. Yeah. It's he's divorced his wife now. These musicians. So and I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with his wife's sister 20 years on. I said stuck, but now I'm going to be in big shit.
Watch that.
And we did this one gig, and it was and the reviews were mad. Like the reviews in Manchester was like, "Who's this band? Is this?" And later one of the reviews said, "Is this the greatest band that's ever going to come out of Manchester?" And I was like, "Come on."
This is Buffalo 66.
Yeah, which is HippyMafia.
Right.
And we changed at the end of the set. We changed the name to HippyMafia. And we was like these reviews, and we was like, okay. I think everything just kind of fell into place. It sounded good, and it was, So I thought, I need to start doing this. And the other guys are doing their little things, and I tried to leave the Mondays for years. Since
it's just one of those things where you try to get out, and they just pull you back in.
Well, and then you're touring, the money's, obviously I live up in royalties, but touring, the gigs are great, So it's like, I said to my wife, I'm going to have to call it a day. The Mafia, we've got to concentrate on it, and it's a lot of money to walk away from, but it's about, it's not end of the day, the bottom line, it's not about money. You've got to do what you want to do. So I said, if I don't put 100% into the Mafia, it's not going to happen. So I did, and I moved here, and then we had one rapper, and he never turned up on the flight. So we were stuck in the studio here, and we had no singer. And someone said, this guy called Dan Aiken said, "Oh, I know a guy called Mike who'd worked in the band with. Try him." So we didn't even audition him. We just tried. Mike came down, and he was doing similar sort of stuff. Like
Where were you from?
Yeah, my band was Gen Militia, and Dan Aiken, former lead guitarist for Junkhouse, who unfortunately just passed away, he produced Gen Militia's debut album, Berlin Boot Camp, and they just at Catherine North in Hamilton, these cats just happened to be putting together the HippyMafia stuff, doing some sessions in the same studio. And then, you know, former dude didn't show up, and so he was like, well, check this guy out. And so they give me a call, and well, Dan gives me a call in the way that he always does. He's like a spider in the web. He connects people, right? So he says, yeah, you know, we'll just check them out. You know, if you think it's cool, we'll hook up and meet. So by the time I go to meet them, and I'm going as if, you know, I'm going for a job interview. You know, I got my credentials, I got my Guinness belly ready, and
you dressed like you were going to a job interview.
Yeah, they gave me a lot of, they took the piss on my trainers a lot, and yeah, and so we end up there, and these guys, it was the reverse, because they had spent all this time sort of Googling and YouTubing and checking out all the Gen Militia stuff, so they know, you know, where I hid my underwear and which girls were official girlfriends and which ones were on the side, and
unbelievable.
And they showed up and they were like, oh, well, no, you're the guy. And I was like, well, phew, so I don't have to interview. And then it was funny because, you know, it's like the stuff that they were doing over there was kind of like, you know, it had a lot of the same roots, you know, but I was the missing piece in terms of what they were doing. And the stuff that we were doing over here is Gen Militia, same kind of thing, except like philosophically it was aligned. Sound-wise, you know, the mix of sort of funk, hip-hop, you know, Beatles, like you know, a lot of Beatles and Stones, James Brown, you know, like all that stuff. It was all there. And, you know, oddly enough, same thing with Fitz, who was already in Toronto, and he saw an interview that I had done in a paper for the Gen Militia record, and he said, well, I got to call this guy. And this was years before. And so Fitz called me, and we sort of had connected previously. And so after everything worked out with us, we went, you know, we did some shows, Canadian Music Week, and it was really brotherly right from the start. It was really, the philosophy was very much lined up, the musically very much lined up. We speak the same language, we do things the same way.
And you were he was the right height, because at first you don't want you don't want to sing it too tall, because tall singers, you know, you're not going anywhere, are you, with tall singers? You know, the smaller singer, the more successful you're going to be.
Yeah, and it was like, I mean, the hard part is just figuring out what the heck they're saying half the time, right?
Yeah, you might need to get an interpreter for them.
Yeah, but we figured out, we sorted out, and then it's like, you know, they're very style conscious, as you know, the Manx, and so they're like, well, we need a bass player, but he's got to be, you know, tall, skinny, with dreadlocks. And I'm like, and at first I laughed.
That's what I said to him, he laughed, and actually got
I laughed. And then a couple months later, I was like, well, you know, I got a brother named Fitz who's doing pretty much what we're doing, and he's cool. So,
he's tall, he's got dreads, plays bass.
And I checked out on YouTube playing this great guitar riff that was like, you know, really kind of, you know, kind of real Sex Pistols Stooges type, which I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. And again, same thing, philosophically made sense, and just personality-wise made sense, and that's.
We're all into different types. The other two lads are all into. Like we've got Ublo, who's in a band who plays. We all play. He plays guitar, but he's like really into electronic. He's electronic. He does electronic solo stuff. Really minimalist electronic. You know, boring on boring. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, that kind of. And then and he's a photographer. Yeah, he's a City fan, says it all. And Johnny, who's the other singer, who's like, you know, a psychedelic rock type person.
Yeah.
And then we've got I like a bit of everything, me. And then we've got Mike, who likes the ladies. And then Fitz, who's like, you know.
I'm just like the cool one.
He brings a bit of serenity to it.
I bring a cool to the group. Like,
You're the John Entwistle of the band.
Yeah,
there
he
you
is,
go,
yeah.
you know?
How's your heart?
Hopefully better.
Yeah, well, John had it, yeah.
So what's the current state of the band, and what's the future?
Current state, go on, Mike.
Sober, but we're working on that.
Yeah.
We just about to launch, aren't we? We're just putting a team together. We're just looking for management. We're going to get a manager, and we're just putting teams together. And we've got an agent in New York that we might be working with, and we're going to put a release together. We've got 2 albums worth.
It's
Black Beatles,
yeah.
one
There's
of
a
Black
lot
Beatles,
of there's a lot of material. Like these guys had a ton of material, and when I went to Manchester in February, we just started. We were supposed to be working on old material, which we did, but we also just started generating, you know, new stuff because of the new energy, and so tons of material. A really you know tremendous live show that I think you know personally I
Well,
think we
how many
feel
people in the
really-
band?
It's 5 of us.
It's 5. It might be. It's one of that. It's one. It's kind of. It spreads on a couple of genres, so it's like it's accessible for. It's, you know, we call it kind of hip hop for indie kids and indie music for hip hop kids.
Right.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not really hip hop and it's not really indie. But you know, but one tune might be a lot of rap, and then the next one will be an acoustic. The guitar, Johnny doing his, you know, his Donovan. So it goes from Donovan to Public Enemy in one. Right. So it might be a bit weird for people to get on, but at the end of the day, it's just music, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter.
You know, the Mondays were kind of like that too,
Yeah, well,
because
we listen to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, I remember Richard Branson saying that in an interview, saying it's not true, but it's cutting to the chase, said that kids in Manchester have the best record collections because you just listen to everything. We'd have a tour bus, we'd listen to Johnny Cash, from Public Enemy to Johnny Cash to Funkadelic to, you know, I don't know, you know, from Sly Stone, right, everything, apart from probably jazz and not really country and western.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.